You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your hosts, Balrog fan Zexorus and DJ Tyrant. Hello everyone and welcome to a very, very special episode of the Heroes Power Hour. This is a Heroes of the Storm podcast brought to you by BlizzPro.com. I am your host, DJ Tyrant, and this is episode 70. And I, first of all, want to absolutely thank Blizzard for putting us on the launcher and promoting the show for this week. And especially with a lot of the news we're going to be able to talk about this week on the show, which is really, really cool. But before we dive into that, let me introduce my co-host, my wonderful crew that I get to talk about Heroes of the Storm with every week. Balrog fan BP, also known as Charlie or Chuck. How are you, man?
I am doing so wonderful right now. Heroes is in a great place. I've been enjoying the game. I'm just happy to be here talking about all these big things we got coming up this week.
Yeah, most definitely. And up to the upper right is Zexorus, also known as Willie. How are you, man? You're
still muted. You're already.
Why do you guys do this to me? This is your fault. I'm doing good. I missed episode 69 and I'm sad about that because apparently that was the Ariel patch and I was really interested to talk about Ariel and what she brought to the table, but I had things going on and I'm ready for this week of Heroes.
Real life happens.
Yes.
And right below Zexorus' Artifice, also known as Elena. How are you doing? It's been a while since you've been on the show. You got your computer up and running, so it's good to see.
It is the triumphant return of the dead hard drive. That was terrible. It died a horrible and violent death that I showed to Willie, and he kind of laughed at me for it.
Oh no.
It's good. It's I've been balancing both the games, Heroes and Overwatch, trying to catch up on all the things that I missed. It's been fun. Plus, summer is really humid here, so trying to survive that.
I can understand that. But for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, once again, this is the Heroes Power Hour. We are on episode 70. We've been talking about Heroes for over a full year now. We've been talking about it since the alpha and beta and launch last year. Basically, the structure of the show is we first introduce everyone, which we just did, talk about our weekend games, which we'll just be talking about how our games and Heroes went and what we think about the state of the game and stuff like that. Then we'll talk about the news of the week, which obviously is the Gamescom's announcements that were this morning for us US folks. And then usually we throw some esports news in there, and then we have a What's Hot on Reddit segment. And I think this week's everyone will absolutely love because it's a fun one. It's nothing too serious, nothing too complaining about anything, so it'll be a lot of fun. But anyways, my week in games, I played quite a bit of Hero League, got a couple wins, which felt good after having a really bad losing streak. But I've been playing a lot of Falstad, and I haven't really played him too much in the past, but he's really good right now in this meta, and a lot of fun to play. And I know last night we played a bunch of just unranked draft, which I still thank Blizzard so much for putting into this game because of how much fun it is made playing with everyone. And Charlie, how about your week in Heroes?
I'm just still enjoying the resurgence of my favorite heroes. I get to play Tychus again. I get to play Kerrigan again. They've always been two of my favorite characters, and they were out of the meta for a long time. So we played a couple games last night. The matches didn't go our way, but I'm very happy to be using those characters, and I've always been a Zagara player as well. So, I mean, she's in the best place she's ever been, which is ridiculous because she's pretty much been consistently good throughout her release. And then when I get a chance to play Diablo, I always like that too. So I'm just glad that all the heroes I really like are feeling very strong right now. There's no real bad place to pick them at, and I hope it keeps going. I mean, the level of balance they've hit has been really great. Everybody feels pretty close to one another, with the exception of a few outliers. So I'm happy to be playing this game right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Willie, I know you've been a little busy, but have you gotten some games in, or what do you think about the state of the game currently?
Well, I'm one thing. I'm really bad at game. I'm really good at blackjack. I'm really bad at slots. That's what I personally learned. No, I was really interested to see how Ariel was gonna impact the game, and it sounds like she's at a 40. What did you say? 48% before the show, and that's not too bad. Like I like what she brings to the table. It's an interesting form of healing that you can talent her trait into to be just like absolutely insane. But we'll see how it plays out, and if any the competitive meta starts picking her, I think she is. I think both of her ultimates are actually really good. When I was playing PTR with her, there was a couple of games where I got a good resurrection off, and that ended up leading to actually a couple direct victories off the back of that, just because, the Illidan would come. I'd bring the Illidan back when everyone was low. Everyone on the other team was low, and like he would just go wipe them, and we just push and win off that in late game. So, like, but this past week, I've been gambling in my face off, and amongst other things, and I haven't gotten to play Heroes, and I'm really sad about that.
Sadness.
So I'm looking forward to this week, and probably starting the morning salt mines back up again, which is my little personal show I do in the mornings on this channel, where it's basically come join me and get angry at stupid plays.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Artifice, how about you? I mean, you just got your computer back, so you're getting back into the things. So Blizzard had a little bit of a present for you, an extended season 1 of competitive. What do you think of that, and how are you feeling about the coming back to the game finally?
They did. What is it end now in September?
September. Oh shoot! I had the date up at one point. It's like September 17th.
Yeah, it's good for me, but it's also it's exhausting because I feel like I need to catch up, but I don't know what I'm catching up to since the season is ending. Then I've only been back since like Thursday, but the things that I've noticed are a lot more of certain things. I've noticed a lot more Nova picks. I've noticed a lot more Kerrigan first picks, and a lot more tanks that I didn't used to see. And I haven't seen very much Medivh, which is surprising, or Gul'dan. Gul'dan I've only seen like once or twice, but there's still a heavy rotation of melee assassins going around more than ranged. I did notice that there's a lot less Li Ming. I've been seeing a lot less Li Ming, which is very interesting because I don't think there's been many changes to her, has there?
No, I think more people are getting used to her changes, and I think people took a little bit of time away from Li Ming to play Kayle when he was really strong in the meta recently. But other than that, I think people have just learned how to play against Li Ming, and
I feel like she was
against her.
She reminds me kind of the medic, how at first everyone was terrified of them even showing up in the match, so they would just never let anyone have it.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it's been good.
But yeah, that's been our weekend games. Let us know in chat or comments how your weekend heroes has been. Hit us up on Twitter, etc. But this is what you're all here for, the Gamescom announcements. We got quite a few things revealed today by Blizzard about the future of Heroes of the Storm, and we're finally getting a StarCraft event. I know Zexus and myself have been waiting for this ever since the Diablo event was announced last year, and we're finally getting it. It is called the Machines of War. It is bringing 2 new battlegrounds, which look really awesome. There's I didn't put the names of them in my notes here, but they are coming out next month, and it's going to be really cool. There's one that's a 2-lane map, and it has like 4 different mercenary camps and a boss in the middle. And they are completely themed StarCraft. It's not just, some of the things are a little bit skinned StarCraft. No, it's completely done. Everything, the buildings, the minions, everything is up to snuff for StarCraft fans. There's a really great preview video that Blizzard put out. Make sure to check that out for all the details on that. I'm curious what you guys think about the 2 additional battlegrounds being added. Does this mean... Do you think that we're going to need to see some of the other maps taken out of the rotation, similar to how Haunted Mines was taken out? Willie, I know you have a lot of thoughts on stuff like this. What do you think this means for the future of kind of the map pool for Heroes of the Storm?
I don't think we're going to see anything taken out of rotation. If anything, take out Battlefield of Eternity. But... Like, I'm really interested to see how Collect the Zerg map goes, because that one seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I also love the concept behind Grab the Nukes.
Yeah, that map is called Warhead Junction, by the way.
That's right.
The other one is called Braxis Holdout.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Braxis looks fun because it looks like a kind of a reverse form of... let's see. What do I want to call it? Infernal Shrines. So instead of charging after specific spots, you're waiting till you get a good amount of Zerg, or you get the max amount of Zerg, and then you try to design a push around that, and that's going to lead to some of the more push heavy. Take Garden of Terror.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good discussion on Twitter today. I saw Jake started on competitive heroes. At least, should they limit it to about 7 battlegrounds, and that brought up the discussion of which 2 would we remove, and unanimously, Garden of Terror was the one that pretty much everyone wanted to remove. I might be the only
guy left in the world who likes that map.
Yeah, I think you are, and that's surprising because I'm a Vikings player. I should like it.
It's a murky map. How do I not like it?
Yeah. I like late game maps. So.
But here's the thing. What if it was more of like a seasonal rotation? Like they rotate certain maps.
Wasn't that discussed before though? Like when they dropped Haunted Mines out from like completely out of the rotation.
That just made me sad.
Wasn't there talk of them doing like a monthly or a seasonal rotation of maps? That like I kind of feel like they need to go back to that at some. Like, come back to that idea, because with the 2 additional maps, that is a good number of maps to play on, and you're not going to get every single map like you should. The map pool is getting a little big at this point. But with I'm very interested to see the new camps, how those things are going to play out. Like, I enjoyed how Towers. Their take on the minions, on the minion camps were done. Instead of like it being pushing, it's kind of pushing, but they also had that added benefit of doing damage to a core once they cross that threshold. So I'm curious to see how, especially on Braxis, how the Merc camps are going to assist like Zerg pushes. Like that's obviously going to be. I think it's going to be a similar meta to like how you play Infernal, and maps like push heavy maps like that. Even Haunted Mines, where like Zagara, Sylvanas, even Zebo, like they're kings of those maps, or queens and king, I guess. Like
just assign one of them a gender.
Well, Zagara is a brood mother.
Yeah.
Well, she's called the Brood Mother, not
exactly.
Brood.
Well, the maps are exciting. Like, not gonna lie, the first glance I had of the first one, the Junction,
Braxis Holdout or Warhead Junction.
Holdout. It looked like Haunted Mines to me, and I got excited.
It kind of does. I mean, it is a 2-lane Battleground, which makes things, I think, a little more interesting. And we'll have to see if that does work in this meta, or if they've figured out a way to make it work where Battlegrounds like Haunted Mines had problems. But we're going to continue talking about this, but I wanted to let everyone in chat in on a little giveaway. We have a Malfurion to give away with a skin. Go ahead and hit exclamation raffle in chat to get yourself entered. It is the Storm Mantle skin. So if you don't have that skin, or if you don't have Malfurion currently, go ahead and hit exclamation point raffle, and we'll get you into the running for that. Make sure you're following the channel as well. We'll be basing the poll on that on a channel of followers as well. So
we'll probably give that away in 7 minutes, right at the half-hour mark.
So give it a little bit of time here. But yeah, the Battlegrounds look really awesome. If you haven't had a chance to check out the previews of them, make sure you watch that on the Blizzard YouTube channel. And I have to say, the music, they remixed a lot of the Terran music, and it sounds amazing just from the preview videos alone. I'm excited to hear the full versions of these tracks when they do come out. But that wasn't it. Did you have something to say, Artifice, real quick?
I just had a question on the one map. Maybe because it was just a cinematic, but it looks like one of the cores turns into a mech of some kind. Is that going to be a thing, or is that just part of the cinematic?
I think that's just part of the artwork of the Battleground,
awesome.
I imagine.
Yeah, I would love like some kind of late game mechanic where you are able to defend your core by turning it into a giant,
or a movable core.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would make sense for a StarCraft map too.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen in Heroes of the Storm.
Why not?
I know, seriously, why not?
God, don't no, because there's going to be that one guy who like floats the core like right over the enemy core and gets.
Bluetooth makes a good point. It looks like the boss. Like you finish the core off and then you have to fight the boss. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, especially if you can get in it. Like if one of the players can be it.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
That would be nice. I'm really excited for StarCraft maps because the mechanics of StarCraft can kind of like they are so random in the way they could use them in Heroes of the Storm. There's so many different abilities in StarCraft. Each character has like 3 different things you can micromanage. So who knows what we could see out of StarCraft maps.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see this happen. I know that they're I don't know if the maps are playable. At least the new heroes are going to be playable. But we're going to be talking about the new heroes now. We have Alarak, who, if you're not familiar with the StarCraft lore, is the main antagonist of the most recent StarCraft 2 game, Legacy of the Void. He's the leader of the Tal'Darim. And the Tal'Darim are Protoss that reject the use of the Kala, which is a very important part of Protoss lore and culture. He is going to be a melee assassin with a release date of September 13th. So not a long wait for him. We're getting another melee assassin in the game. It's been a while since we've had a new melee assassin, and his toolkit looks pretty darn good. What do you guys think of, or Charlie, I'll start with you. What do you think of Alarak and what he could bring to the game?
Well, I'll be the first to admit I haven't played a lot of StarCraft, so I don't know much about his lore. But as far as like a character, whenever you have those melee assassins being added, they always have the potential to carry, and he definitely looks like he has the kit that can provide that kind of sustainable damage that also, when protected, impacts team fights in major ways. So, it's always wait till the release. We were really hyped for a lot of different characters and not so hype on others, and they've fallen on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I really want to hold out my opinion until he's on the PTR live and really give some analysis. But my initial reaction was great. This guy looks awesome.
Yeah, his toolkit looks really, really fun, and I'm excited to see what he does to the meta, what kind of impact he has. Zexrus, what about you? I know you're more of a warrior player most often, but melee assassins, they can really shift the meta, I think.
Let me bring up a different take on why I'm excited for Alarak to be in the Nexus. John DeLance in the Nexus, Q in the Nexus. I'm spinning.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Like that's like I loved him
Is that a little
in Legacy.
fangirl moment there, Willie?
Yeah, what I would go gay for that man. No,
Oh, God.
outright. Like
Has he done work with this before?
no, he was Q in Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
he did the voice work for Alrac in Legacy of the Void. And Alrac also got announced as another commander for co-op for StarCraft 2, so he did voice work for that. And as well, Blizzard did confirm that he is doing the voice for this Heroes of the Storm hero.
Yeah, like I'm very interested to see how he plays out in the Nexus. Like I said, when he pops up in the PTR, I'm probably going to buy him just like I always do because I'm an idiot, and I constantly buy heroes on the PTR just so I can tinker around with them and get a feel for them before they go live. Because I don't know why you think I'd wait once in a while, but nope. But like,
But if you
his
wait,
concept
can't you
looks
get the
very-
bundle?
No, you can buy usually you can buy the bundle in the Nexus. That's why Jimmy didn't buy
Ariel.
Ari because she didn't have a bundle. So he's like, "Pfft, what?
Gotcha.
So, but I'm really interested in how he's going to play. I think he's going to be a lot of fun, but that doesn't normally mean good. Like I love Chen, but he's not good. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, Artifice, I know you definitely favor melee assassins. I know you played a lot of Thrall. What do you think from your initial impressions of seeing a little bit of his toolkit on the video today? What will he do for the game?
I get the feeling that he's gonna remind me of when Rexar first came out, or not Rexar. I'm sorry. Butcher. When Butcher first came out, because of his charge, people are just gonna like lose their minds because they overextend it, and then they're like, "Oh, I messed up. This is bad," because they don't know what they're doing with it. They're just, "This is fun. Whee! I'm charging things." But
Yep.
he does look like he's a lot of fun for a lot of the squishier characters. Like he could probably counter some of the mage damage that people have been having issues with, which is why like a lot of the bans I've seen are like double mage. Like that's the only thing that's banned, the first two bans. That's kind of boring. Like you always see the same bands and it's always the same characters, and you want something a little different to watch, especially. Like playing is one thing, but when you're watching it, you want to see something that, okay, I saw this an hour ago, same band, same characters. It's kind of strange sometimes. So I feel like he could shake that part up. It's a lot helpful. Plus you need something to go along with Thrall. Like Thrall has certain counters, but maybe he could be something that goes with Thrall.
Yeah, most definitely, and he's going to be fun to tinker around with. And I know Trickler is very happy that we're getting just that much closer to being able to run an all Protoss 5-man squad in Heroes of the Storm. That'll be fun. But the other thing that they did release as well is the skin you're going to be able to get in the bundle with him. It's a N'Zoth version of Alrac, and it has to be one of the coolest skins I think that they have put out. It is absolutely amazing. N'Zoth, if you're not familiar, is from Warcraft and is basically Cthulhu. Like let's not beat around the bush. It's basically Cthulhu.
Cthulhu has come to the Nexus. Honestly, I'm more excited for that skin than I am for the character, and that's kind of sad.
Oh man, but yeah,
it's the nod to the old gods. Like,
who's
not excited about that?
That cross promotion. But yeah, there was a second hero as well announced. They decided to release a non-StarCraft hero as well during this event because they heard the concerns of people during the Diablo event of it just being Diablo heroes. So they are releasing another Overwatch hero. Zarya is coming to the Nexus, and very similarly to Tracer, it's pretty much a one-for-one pull from Overwatch in her toolkit in Heroes of the Storm, and it looks really fun. And she's going to be a ranged warrior, which will be something really cool to play around with. And I'm really excited. I'm terrified of the setups that are going to be able to happen off that gravity bomb heroic.
I'm excited. I'm hoping that her mechanic from Overwatch retains, where like shields are made stronger by her, like shielding her makes her stronger, maybe, so she has some synergy with Tassadar or something. I also think they're taking a great approach, not calling this the StarCraft event, but the Machines of War. It allows them to do different things, like if more heroes come later, because initially in the Diablo event we got how many characters? We got 4 Diablo characters in a row. Or 3?
3.
It was 3, I believe.
So
Artanis got shoved there in the middle.
Okay, so there could
So it's
easily
kind of like the reverse of that.
there could easily be anybody from any other universe that, as long as they have a machine sort of theme, so or guns or whatever, So I think that leaves them options, it's a much better choice than just going like, hey, this is the Diablo release. Hope you like Diablo characters. I'm really glad that they're doing it this way because. Really, we don't know what to expect after these 2 heroes. And like I said, as far as Zarya goes, I think her kit is, if any of it transfers over from Overwatch, we've got a lot of potential for a really fun character in the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of Blizzard's MO, though, the past year or so. I feel like they only try to let people know about the next 2 or 3 heroes in the lineup so that there's still that kind of constant excitement. There's also BlizzCon coming up relatively soon, so they'll be holding on to some stuff for that as well. But
like arena mode,
yeah.
Damn it, you had to say it.
I thought we were going to get arena today, but
I'm still holding out hope.
Holding out hope, yeah.
Holding out hope.
I mean, technically, Gamescom isn't over. Gamescom isn't over yet. It hasn't even started. This was just a preview, so who knows what'll come.
You're not Ariel. Stop giving me hope.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, there's also a bunch of new skins and mounts just for this event. I don't know which one's my favorite. They're all so good. I'd have to probably say the Kerrigan, the Ghost Kerrigan skin looks really cool. It's going to be another epic skin with a lot of really, really well done effects. We showed it on the preview of right before we went live. We had the countdown going, and we had the artwork for that up. But if you haven't checked it out, make sure to go over to the Heroes website and check that skin out. It looks so awesome. There's also the Raider Rexar skin. Looks like he somehow managed to cram the space marine suit on him somehow. And we have Mecha Misha as well. So that'll be cool.
Big 6, he looks like that.
Yes.
Big Hero 6 where he stuffs the armor on him. Yeah, that's what Rexar looks like in that.
That's exactly what Rexar looks like. And then there's a skin for Butcher where he looks like an Ultralisk. He's called Butcherlisk. And it's probably one of the most awkward looking skins I've seen. But it's funny. It's great. And it's themed. And there's a Ghost Speeder mount and an Obsidian Cyberwolf. So tons of new content to buy in the game. Charlie, what's your favorite thing out of the announcements today so far?
Skin-wise or just overall?
Just overall. We'll just go overall.
Overall, I mean, I can't be more hyped for Zarya. I think she's going to be a really cool addition. I can't wait to see how she plays. I'm really excited for that. I think she's going to bring a ranged melee hero who's probably going to end up being a tank is very exciting to me.
Willie.
I'm going to be excited for, again, Zarya, Alrak, and obviously the new maps. I'm really hyped about the new maps. I've been pining for a StarCraft map forever. I thought for sure we were going to get one when Legacy of the Void dropped. And it never happened, and I cried a little inside every day when that didn't happen. I'm really
sorry. We got to do the raffle.
Oh, you have to do the raffle. Do the raffle.
Okay.
Exclamation mark raffle. If anybody wants to join last second, we'll close it up at in the next minute. So
raffle time.
When it hits 38, the raffle will end it, and we'll give away a Malfurion skin, and there will be another raffle at the end of the show.
Yep, absolutely.
My main concern, though, is that I hope these 2 new StarCraft maps don't suffer from Shrines and Battlefield Syndrome.
You really have a thing for
no,
that.
no. Now listen to me. Name one of the two most picked maps in competitive.
Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, Shrines.
Cursed Hollow.
Shrines,
probably.
Cursed Hollow,
Cursed.
whatever. Battlefield.
I mean,
Those
if it
are
was up
like
to me, it'd be Pirates Bay. So.
Yeah, every game would be Pirates Bay. Pirates is a lot of fun, but like they're always picked in competitive. Like you don't see the other map. You never see a garden map. Thank God. You never, because I don't feel like taking a half hour, 45 minutes to watch a Heroes game. If I wanted to watch a 45-minute game, I'd watch Dota. But you don't see a huge map variety in the competitive scene. Like you see the same maps over and over and over and over.
But you should.
I kind of agree. I kind of disagree. Like the meta for these specific maps is so well established that everyone just completely forgets about the other maps. You never see Battlefield because you will never see like the Tracer strat on not Battlefield, on Pirates, because there's different metas for every map. That's the thing I love about Heroes. So the competitive scene kind of grows stale over time as the best metas are established for the easiest maps. What's the easiest way for me to achieve victory, on this particular map? And then you try to execute that, which I understand, but it kind of makes the scene a little stale at times.
We got to close that raffle out.
And, I already went ahead and did it, and I drew the raffle, and we're going to announce the winner in chat real quick. Easy Suspect, thank you for entering. Congratulations. We'll get this to you after the show. Remind me if I forget at DJ Tyrant. Make sure I give this to you. We will get you hooked up with that.
And we got another one at the end of the show, so stick around.
Yeah, stick around. There'll be another opportunity for you watching on Twitch to win near the end of the show. One thing we didn't mention, which didn't have its own video, but was very briefly mentioned in the preview stream, was that they're going to add an MVP system per match. I'm guessing this will just be something lifted from Overwatch, very similarly to the card system, where it'll be like, oh, this person had the most number of kills, this person had the most hero damage, or something like that. And what do you think, this is a good thing for the game, or could it cause some strife in game a little bit?
Oh, it's definitely going to cause strife in game, because you're going to have that one guy who's always constantly trying to be the playmaker, and he's not very good at it.
If that's what that means.
We don't know how the MVP system is going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
The MVP system could be something that was decided based on something you can't really play for. It could be something like, this character did so much of this things or participated in so much. I mean, overall, I feel like the algorithm for MVP should be something that involves, being impactful on team fights, which if you're playing to win, you should be doing that anyway. So I don't see it presenting a problem.
Do you think it's gonna drop something like a little bit extra gold as a reward, or just like more like a, oh god, what's the word? Just like a visual thing?
I think it's more of a visual thing. I think it's just something for fun. I'd be surprised if gold was attached to this at all.
I don't think it would be gold, but I think like in instances of Team League and Hero League, it might be more rank points, which would incentivize people to work together,
leveling.
Play together. More experience. Yeah, that would be something too. I mean, an MVP system basically strives players or incentivizes players to play their best. And when players are playing their best in Heroes of the Storm, it means they're working with their team. So hopefully this kind of resonates, and after a week or so, people kind of realize like, oh, I need to really work with my team. I need to not spend time blaming others. So hopefully we'll get more teamwork in the Nexus as a result of this MVP system, and not like people trying to undercut each other for the MVP. That seems like it would be a fruitless endeavor for people trying to do that. So
yeah, it's just something that they like really briefly mentioned and kind of didn't really talk much about. So hopefully we'll know more about it in the near future. But something fun for the system. Hopefully, I'm hoping we hear about some more improvements to the Hero League and Team League system for next season. I'm hoping that's why they delayed the next season a little bit, but that remains to be seen. But let's transition into the competitive scene of Heroes of the Storm. Lots of esports action happening very, very quickly here. We had the first North American Regional 2 weekends ago, and this week we have all the qualifiers happening for the second North American Regional for fall. The first one was on Sunday, and I got to cast those with Dunk Train alongside many other awesome casters. The two teams that qualified were Naventic and Denial Esports. Does this surprise anyone at all that they were the first two teams to qualify for PAX?
Not at all. They had to come out hungry because they got... I mean, I won't say they got robbed by Murloc or Murloc Geniuses, but Murloc Geniuses definitely surprised everyone the previous or 2 weeks ago. And I think these are the two teams everybody was kind of like heavily favored to go out and win that particular qualifier. Mm-hmm. And when it didn't happen, you had to assume that these two teams were going to come out hungry.
Yeah, the thing is also Naventic added Jason to their roster after losing Fan to Gale Force Esports. Denial added, oh my gosh, why can't I Dream came out of retirement, that brief 2 months of retirement or whatever it was, to come back and play Heroes.
When did that happen?
It happened over the weekend. It was very quick because the first regional happened 2 weekends ago, and this qualifier was literally a week after the first North American regional. But yeah, there were
That's exciting.
There were some really good games. Vox got pretty soundly beat by Denial, but we'll have to see how they bounce back from that, because they also added a new member to their team. They had McIntyre, who was previously on Gul'dan's game, and before that he was on Naventic. So lots of roster swapping still, even after summer season. And it shouldn't be too surprising for Vox to qualify very shortly here. The next qualifier is actually Wednesday and Thursday, and then the third qualifier will be next Sunday. So keep an eye out for those.
The real question is, which one of these NEA teams has the best hopes of toppling the Europe scene, the European scene? Because I mean, it's pretty much it's not a foregone conclusion, but a lot of people feel the European and Asian scene is a lot stronger than the North American scene. So, do you think like any of these teams have a really strong chance? Like, which one would you pick?
I would pick Gale Force. I mean, they picked up Fan now, and Fan is just like one of the best players in the scene, and he's so versatile. Nothing against Rafflecopter, but he just didn't have as much of a hero pool as Fan does. I mean, if they're going to queue up on Cursed Hollow, they can throw Fan on that Abathur, no problem, and he can just wreck face there. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that Gale Force has the best shot of kind of toppling the European and Asian teams, but they still have to qualify for BlizzCon through PAX. They did get an automatic seed because of their top 2 finish in that first regional. Murloc, obviously, you can't scoff at Murloc. They're probably one of the best teams as far as preparing for a tournament.
And that's my point exactly. I think Murloc showed us a lot on being able to adapt quickly to a new meta. So if something changes, I think Murloc has a chance to surprise some people and really come out strong. They're obviously in Prove It to Me mode. They have to continue to win. But, I mean, they looked really good. The only time they looked bad was when Zagara was taken away from them, and that's because Zagara's probably, I mean, arguably the strongest, like, just complete hero in this meta right now. She really ties into any team you want on most maps, so if they find a way to kind of, like, recapture that magic come BlizzCon time, it wouldn't surprise me to see Murloc Geniuses making a lot of noise. That
really wouldn't surprise me as well. And Any closing thoughts on kind of the North American meta right now, Zex?
I really want to see Vox do well. Like, anyone who has a person named Lex Luthor on their team, like, they need to do well.
You're right. I mean, that's just the most amazing name.
I got to meet him in Burbank, and I gave him a big hug for you, by the way.
Thank you. And thank you for shouting out I was right about Insight Charism being a thing now.
Dude, I got so hyped when I don't even remember who it was, but I saw that they had taken Insight, and I yelled out Insight. I don't know if it got on stream at all, but I was very excited.
Told you. I knew it was gonna be a thing.
Most definitely. But moving on to our What's Hot on Reddit segment. This is where we take a thread that's been really discussed or talked a lot about on the Heroes of the Storm subreddit and talk about it amongst ourselves, what it means, what it... just talking about it. But there was a really great thread just recently put up asking if you could take your second heroic at 20, who would be really good at that position. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit last night as well. Who wants to start off with who they think would just be absolutely broken if you could have both heroics at your disposal at level 20?
Well, for a tank, having both of Muradin's talents would just be ridiculous. Like, you have all that extra health now, and then you can punch somebody out of a fight or punch somebody into a fight and then pop your avatar and soak up all that extra damage. That'd be absolutely ridiculous.
Didn't you say you thought it would be fun to have Lost Vikings have both talents?
That would be scary. You could play so aggressive with Vikings then. You just need to keep one of them alive, revive them all, and then go into boat form. It would be silly. It would be very, very silly.
That's like 9 health bars.
Yeah.
Speaking of 9 health bars, I mentioned it last night. Cho'Gall would have 4 ults to go on.
Dear God.
Oh my gosh.
I think that would just be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other one I thought would be really fun would be Butcher, because he puts Lamb to the Slaughter on you and then Furnace blasts you, and you have no escape from that.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind is that, like, none of this is possible post 20. So if you don't play well enough to get to 20, it's not going to happen. So, as ridiculous as it sounds, it does also kind of make sense in some way. I don't know how real this is, but the concept of it is very cool. There are a couple of heroes I would really like to see. Vala, being able to hit a good Rain of Vengeance and follow it up with a volley would be, or strafe rather, would be insane. Sylvanas, obviously a silence arrow or a mind control followed up by a silence arrow, that would be ridiculous.
I think it would make Zagara more fun too.
Yeah, might break Zagara. Jesus,
Zeratul.
Both ults are really good. Yeah,
Zeratul would be absolutely ridiculous. You like VP the back line, and then you just shadow strike the stragglers, or you shadow assault the stragglers.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. By the way, we're gonna do another raffle, right, Jimmy? So we should get that going right now.
Yeah, we can start that. Go ahead in 2 seconds. Hold on.
It's for another Malfurion skin, the same one, the Storm Mantle, right?
Yeah, correct.
So if you want it earlier, easy. Please don't enter this one. But we'll be giving away another Malfurion skin, and if you don't have Malfurion, it will give you Malfurion. So there's that.
Yeah, so go ahead. That is open now. ! Raffle will get you into that. Going back to the topic. Let us know what you think. Tweet at us at Heroes Power on Twitter if you're interested to tell us your thoughts on what 2 heroics would be. Absolutely crazy, fun, exciting, terrible, whatever. Besides Sylvanas already having access to 2 heroics. Kappa.
Yeah, she could do 3.
She could have 3, yeah.
Charism would probably become the strongest support, or close to. I think Medic would get a big boost from it as well, being able to both medevac and stim drone. But Charism's ability to Divine Palm and do the
7-sided strike?
7-sided strike would be pretty ridiculous. What were you going to say, Elena? I'm sorry.
I just had a random thought when you talked about Graviton Surge earlier. Combining that with Grav Bomb, Ring of Frost,
Yep.
and ETC's ult.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
just talking legit, like, combos.
Like-
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then adding the second ult onto that, I think it would kind of be like a vacuum cleaner.
That would just be lockdown.
It really would be.
Oh dear God.
Stun lock, activate it. But again, like, none of this would take place until post 20, so
And then it's just a game ender
yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, it's avoid
Like that-
the game ender or hit your game ender.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why not? During that combo, why not just throw a Chen and Sonya in there? You've got a washing machine.
Talking washing machine?
You got a washing machine vacuum cleaner, and if we're still talking that, why don't we just give the Earth, Wind, Fire ult barrels instead? He splits into
my
3 barrels
gosh.
for extra insanity. So
Well,
and then you
well,
got
if
the
we
Leap, Wrath of the
washing machine
Berserker.
and the vacuum cleaner, we need a refrigerator, so that would probably be Butcher because he's a big fat piece of garbage.
Oh my gosh. I think we're kind of speculating even Murky's to heroics could be fun. You octo grab someone and then force them to eat the March of the Murlocs. Illidan was another one we had discussed. Hunting someone and then dropping Metamorphosis right on top of it. Could be really fun.
I think Marvel would have a good time with that.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to speculate on stuff that's probably not going to happen.
No.
What do you do with
at
Tracer?
all.
But it was a fun discussion.
Oh, hey.
Tracer has 3 ults, is what somebody pointed out in chat.
Okay.
So,
She just gets another upgrade to Pulse Bomb, I guess.
yeah. Yeah,
That
because she
be
would get...
dirty.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
As if she needed the buff. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, Ghouldown would be interesting. I feel like, even though we've talked on previous episodes about Rain of Destruction and how sketchy it is as a heroic because of its really, really random damage. But having both those could be fun.
Mobile 2 points out a pretty good... brings up a pretty good point that Hammer might be relevant with napalm nukes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
The like hitting somebody with a nuke and then following up with the biggest missile possible could really lend to Hammer's less than desirable credibility.
Yep. Oh. Okay. So I'm going through the heroes in the game right now. Leoric is another one that could be fun. You entomb them, and then you just march to the Black King them. No reason to miss that ever again.
Yeah, that's true. They're stuck in the tomb for that one. That would be insane. There's definitely a lot of heroes who would benefit from combining. Are there any that you feel like really wouldn't do that well from it? Because I feel like,
Lily.
yeah, I feel like Lily's is kind of meh.
Like, you kind of have to build her one way or the other. Having both ults would kind of not do much.
Oh man, Tyrael would be broke with both. Forget this idea. No, I'm shutting it down right now. I don't want judgment and sanctification. Too
Yeah.
unfair.
Tarant would actually be pretty broken because you'd have damage and healing
Yeah.
at the same
yeah,
time.
That would give
What
her
about if it was like a special event, either for custom games or like an annual thing that they did?
See, that would be fun. If it was a certain, like, kind of like how Aram is right now,
Mhm.
just a map
Yeah.
where it's like free for all talent picks or something. I don't know what they would call it, but something along those lines. Yeah, I could see that. That would at least be pretty fun. Raynor would be pretty good with both of his ults as well.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Let's give away our last code here, though. We're going to go ahead and draw it in just a moment here.
And we
Jamal-
also do things outside of skins. We've done $20 Blizz or BattleNet cards before, and we do those randomly throughout our shows. So if you're here for the first time, come on back. There's definitely incentive for just hanging out and listen to us talk garbage about Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, most definitely. And our winner
Here-
is Peldor 78613. Congratulations.
Woo, Paldor!
So we'll send that to you through Twitch. I'll be sending it through my personal Twitch, DJ Tyrant, in just a moment. So thank you for that. But before we go to our game portion, so those of you who are new to the show, we have a game portion right after our recording of the show where we bring on viewers and patrons. Patrons will have priority in the games, but if we get a lot of people, we generally go and do ARAMs, which have been a lot of fun. We just mix up the teams and we're all in the same chat, and it's been a blast. So make sure to join in the Heroes of the Storm game itself. Type /join BlizzPro and we'll hit you up there. Once again, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/heroespower. If you're interested in helping financially support the show, there's a couple really cool tiers there. At $5, you can actually choose the heroes that we play during the play portion of our after show, which could lend to a lot of fun stuff there. But it just helps out with any hardware issues we have and helping fund some of the giveaways to give back to the community that has been so awesome for us. Charlie.
Have they made you play Tyrael yet, Jimmy?
No,
Nobody is. Because I'm still a patron.
What was the question?
What did you have to close out the show, Chuck?
Oh, nothing. Just keep playing Heroes of the Storm. Follow us. Come back every Tuesday if you enjoyed what we were doing. I have my own stream, Balrog Fan. If you want to see, I'm currently participating in a 52 game challenge where I beat 52 games in a year's time. I'm at 5 games right now, so I started about a week ago. If you want to check that out, I have a couple other podcasts too. You can see it all on my Twitch page if you're curious about any of that.
Yeah, most definitely. Zex, I know you were talking about bringing the morning show back on the BlizzPro channel. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. It's called the Morning Salt Mines because everyone's angry in the morning, especially me. And basically, I just play whatever game, whatever Blizzard game happens to strike my interest. It's usually Heroes, but I have been known to start playing some Diablo with whoever's viewing, Overwatch. On a rare occasion, StarCraft. I haven't been so rusty in StarCraft, though. But I mean, everyone's welcome to join me. More the better, in my opinion. Though I do have a thought. With the next 2 heroes coming out, they're going to have to redesign the character select UI.
They are,
because it's currently full. So now they're going to have to go back and redesign it a little bit, and I'm very curious to see how that turns out. Hey, Kat.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that does turn out. But thanks again for checking out the show. Make sure to check out heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. There's tons of articles that go up all the time there. Great strategy articles. There's some build articles you can search through as well if you're looking for something specific hero. And as always, you can check out the VOD of the show, youtube.com/BlizzPro. If you're not able to always make it to the live showing, we do put it up on YouTube. And we do have the MP3 version as well. You can find the link for that on BlizzPro's website, blizzpro.com. Make sure to also check out the other shows that BlizzPro does put together. The wonderful Westmark Workshop, which is about Diablo 3, happens Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's tomorrow. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, another show I'm a part of called the Payload Podcast, talking about Overwatch. And then Sundays at 7 Pacific as well is Well Met, our Hearthstone podcast. And while you're at it, if you're interested, we do have a Discord as well where a lot of us hang out and chat throughout the week. Discord.blizzpro.com will get you that link. And I think that'll do it for this week's, the 70th episode of the Heroes
We didn't give
Power Hour.
Artifice a chance to plug anything.
Artifice, yeah. Artifice, what do you have?
No plugging from me. I'll probably be harassing Willie during the salt mines because that just sounds entertaining to me.
Okay.
Willie and salt is always an amusing thing.
And we have Purple Flame EG. He's here most weeks too. He's a really strong player, and
yeah, I'm excited for him to be back.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the new maps. We're finally getting the StarCraft maps, and I'm slowly building my excitement for BlizzCon.
There you go.
Con hype.
And that'll do it for episode 70. Thanks again to Blizzard for promoting us on the launcher and on Twitter. We really, really appreciate it. And obviously, we wouldn't be here without the game. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you next week in the Nexus. And stick around for those of you watching the live show.